Most people think that manifestation is about creating a future, a new future, and it isn't. It's about stopping the past from repeating. And by the end of this video, you will have a 7-step process that actually works because you'll understand what has been blocking you all the way along. And here's what's happening. You do the affirmations and you visualize, you try to stay positive, and at first things start to shift. You feel different, you feel hopeful, you feel like finally something is changing. But then it all collapses and it's back to the same patterns, the same reactions, and the same outcomes. And you start wondering, is there something wrong with me? Maybe it's blocked. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe manifestation just doesn't work for people like me. If that's your experience right now, I want you to know something. You did not fail at all. Here's what's actually happening, and it's much simpler and much more human. Your brain is not trying to give you a better life. It's trying to keep you predictable. Your nervous system is designed to protect identity, not happiness. And once you understand that, manifestation finally makes sense. By the end of this video, you are going to understand 3 things. First, why your brain actually blocks manifestation even when you're doing everything right. Second, how something called filtering shapes your entire reality without you knowing it. And third, you're going to know the 7-step process to reprogram your nervous system so that life finally responds. But before I explain all of that, let me first give you the key idea. Think of your brain like a weather forecaster. It's not telling you what is happening right now. It's predicting what is likely to happen based on your past patterns. Your brain is a prediction machine. It constantly forecasts what is likely to happen next based on what has happened before. Your emotions, your reactions, your decisions, even what you notice in the world. We are all filtering through that prediction. And over time, those predictions, they solidify into something that we call who I am. Not as truth, as a forecast. And it happens around our mid-20s. You know, the nervous system usually decides it's got enough data and it builds a stable model of what you expect, from relationships, from money, from what you expect from health, from what you expect from yourself under pressure. And from that point on, your system becomes very efficient at maintaining that model. And it's not because it's correct, it's because it's familiar. And this is why life can feel like it stops changing, even when you're doing the work. Your nervous system, it acts like a gatekeeper. It allows in thoughts, behaviors, and opportunities that match the established version of you. And it filters out anything that doesn't. And it's not consciously, it's automatically. And this is also why manifestation, it doesn't fail loudly, it fails quietly. You don't feel blocked, you feel tired, you feel inconsistent, you feel like you know what to do, but you just can't stay in it. And it's not a mindset problem, it's not a motivation problem, and it's not because you're broken, it's because your system is protecting an old identity. Now pause for a second, right now. Think about one area in your life that keeps repeating, no matter what you try. Maybe it's money, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's your health. Have you got it? That pattern that you're thinking of right now, that's your brain's prediction at work. That's the old identity it's protecting. And if you've ever felt like your life is on repeat no matter what you try, then please drop me a comment and tell me which area it is. You know, I read every single comment, and your comment might be the next video. Okay, so now let me prove to you that this is actually happening. I'm going to give you 3 examples. And each one is going to show you a different layer of how this prediction system works. Now, the first example is from when I was a child, and honestly, it became a running joke in my family. Now, I had an uncle, and that uncle was incredible at finding money everywhere. Not huge amounts, but consistently. Everywhere he went, he would find coins, notes, 10 pence on the pavement, a pound under a bush, a fiver near a shop entrance. And it happened so often that we would often tease him about it. You know, my uncle's superpower is finding loose change. But here's what made it interesting. His wife, my aunt, now she was usually walking right beside him when this happened. And she never saw the money, not once. And she'd laugh about it. She'd shake her head and say, he always finds money, but I never do. And that simple belief created filters. Her brain, it tuned out any money lying on the floor. His brain highlighted it. Same street, same moment, completely different reality. The money wasn't appearing out of nowhere. It was already there. The difference was not luck. It was filtering. His brain was tuned to notice it, and hers was tuned to miss it. And that's the first layer, basic filtering. As your brain notices what it expects to find, and it ignores everything else. And the second example I've got is comes from when I worked in car sales. And this one was harder to watch because you could see the moment someone's identity changed and how quickly life responded to it. Now, I had a colleague who was average at selling, not bad, not exceptional. He usually just about hit target. And then he had a bad month and another and another. But by the third month, the management were calling him into meetings. And you could see it in his body language, the way he sat at his desk, the way he avoided eye contact, the way he seemed smaller somehow. He wasn't doing anything dramatically wrong, but he was missing opportunities. And one day I watched it happen right in front of me. A family walked into the showroom, a man, a woman, and their teenage daughter. And they walked in smiling, looking directly at my colleague and standing clearly in his line of sight. And he looked up and straight at them. And then he looked back at his computer. He didn't acknowledge them. He didn't stand up. He didn't say hello. They stood there awkwardly for a moment, still glancing in his direction, waiting. And eventually they came to my desk. And when I asked if they could help, they said they were looking to buy 2 cars. One for themselves, one for the daughter. And then they said something that made my stomach drop a little. They were hoping to deal with my colleague. He'd sold them cars before, twice. They knew him, they liked him, they came back specifically for him, and he didn't even see them. Only when I called him over did he look up and did he recognize them. But here's what was actually happening. This wasn't about bad customer service. This wasn't about lack of effort. His internal prediction had shifted from, I usually hit target, to, I'm struggling. And once that new identity took hold, his nervous system reorganized. It reorganized everything to match it. It filtered out opportunities. It shaped his posture. It shaped what he noticed and what he missed. And when I explained this to him later, when I showed him what had happened, something shifted in his eyes. And then that same month, he hit target again. Well, he exceeded it. And not because customers magically appeared, but because his internal filter changed back. And that's the second layer, identity-based filtering. Your brain doesn't just filter reality, it shapes your behavior to match who it thinks you are. And the third example I've got for you is simpler, but this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where you realize the world that you are experiencing right now might not be the world that's actually there. Now, sometimes customers would order a car in a color that they hadn't seen much before, like midnight blue or pearl white, bronze metallic. And they say something like, I've never really seen this color around in this car before. It's quite rare, so we'll have this one. And then a month later, when they came to collect the car, they'd say the exact same thing every time. I've seen this colour everywhere now, like in the motorway, in the car parks, the traffic lights. Suddenly it's like almost everyone has got this car in this colour. And here's what's wild about it. Nothing changed in the world. The same number of midnight blue cars were there on the road before they ordered it. But their brain wasn't looking for midnight blue before, so it filtered out. And their brain is now tuned into it, so it highlights it everywhere. Same roads, same traffic, completely different experience. And that's the third layer. And this is the one that changes everything once you understand it. Your brain doesn't just filter what you notice. It creates your experience of reality. The opportunities that are available to you right now, the ideas floating around you, the people saying helpful things in passing. If your identity says, it never works out for me, or I always struggle, or money doesn't come to me, your brain will filter out the very things that would change your situation. You won't search in the right places. You won't hear the useful comments. You won't follow the idea that could have led you somewhere. Not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is organizing reality to stay consistent with who it believes you are. And this is what no one tells you. You're not broken. Your manifestations aren't blocked. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's protecting an identity that it thinks is you. That's it. That's the whole game. Change the identity, change the prediction. Change what you notice, change your life. Now, before I give you the process, I need to tell you something important. I've seen people try to manifest for years without understanding this. And do you know what happens? They give up. And not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. They stop believing it's possible. They stop trying. They resign themselves to this is just how my life is. And the worst part is they blame themselves. They think they are the problem, when really they just don't understand how the nervous system works. And don't let that be you. Because what I'm about to show you, this is the part that most manifestation teachers never explain. This is where it gets real. Here's the actual process that updates your nervous system so it stops recreating the old identity. And I'm going to break it down into 3 phases. Phase 1, setup. Steps 1 to 3. And this is where you define your desire correctly. Phase 2 is the practice, and that's steps 4 and 5. And this is your daily nervous system work. And phase 3 is integration. That's steps 6 and 7. And this is how you live from the new identity. So let's start with phase 1, setup. Step 1, choose one specific area. Not everything at once. So you choose wealth or relationship or health or a home. Pick one thing, because your nervous system, it learns through repetition, and repetition requires focus. You're not fixing your whole life at the moment. You're providing an example to your system that change is possible. Step 2, define it as a state, not as an outcome. This is where most people get it wrong. If you want wealth, don't define it as a number in your bank account. Define it as a feeling of abundance, of having options, of feeling secure. The feeling when you see something that you want and that you know you can afford it. The feeling when a bill arrives and there's no calculation, there's no stress, there's just handling it. If you want a relationship, don't define it as finding the right person. Define it as the feeling of being loved, of being chosen, of being home. The feeling when someone looks at you with genuine warmth. The feeling of being understood without having to explain yourself. And if you want health, don't define it as losing weight or fixing symptoms. Define it as the feeling of vitality, of ease in your body, of physical confidence. You know, the feeling when you wake up energized, the feeling when you move through your day without pain or heaviness. And then write one sentence. Examples. I am wealthy. I am loved and chosen. Or my body feels strong and healthy. That sentence describes who you would be and not what you would have. Step 3, sit with that sentence for 5 minutes. No music, no candles, no fancy setup. Just sit comfortably. Bring the sentence to mind. Have it in front of you if needed. And notice what happens in your body. Now, most people will feel one of 3 things. Be tightness in the chest or in the stomach. You know, like the idea feels distant or unsafe. Restlessness, you know, or an urge to move or to start thinking about something else, like the nervous system is rejecting the idea. Or nothing at all. Just flatness and disconnection. Now, all of these are normal. They're not problems. They are your nervous system saying, this doesn't match who I think you are. Now, your job is not to make the feeling go away. Your job is to stay present with it without labeling it as wrong. Just sit with the discomfort or the restlessness or the flatness. Don't try to fix it and stay there for 5 minutes with the sentence. That's the work. Because here's what happens when you do this. After 2 or 3 minutes, the sensation, it usually shifts. And it might soften, it might move to a different part of your body, or it might just fade. That shift is your nervous system updating. It's checking, is this safe? And when you stay present without forcing anything, the system begins to accept it. Now, before we move to phase 2, let me show you where most people go wrong with this, because here's the biggest mistake that I see. People define their desire as, I want to be rich, or I want to find love, or I want to be healthy. Do you see the problem? I want means that you don't have it. It's a statement of lack. It's not fulfillment. Your nervous system hears, I want to be rich, and thinks, okay, we're not rich. We're in the wanting phase. That becomes the identity. The person who wants, not the person who has. So instead, your sentence needs to describe the state as if it is already true. Not, I want more money, but I am wealthy. Not, I want to find love, but I am loved and chosen. Not, I want to be healthy, but my body feels strong and healthy. You see the difference? One keeps you in lack, and the other plants you in fulfillment. And that distinction, I promise you, it matters more than you think. Okay, so that's phase 1 complete. You've defined your desire correctly. So now let's move on to phase 2. And this is practice. This is your daily nervous system work. So on step 4 is imagine one ordinary moment after the 5 minutes when the resistance has softened. So briefly imagine one simple moment from the fulfilled state. And not a fantasy either, not a dramatic scene, just life continuing as if you're, okay, so let's say wealth, you're working on wealth. Imagine checking your bank balance and feeling satisfied, or seeing something that you want in a shop and just knowing that you can buy it. Just that quiet confidence, that security. Or if you're working on a relationship, imagine walking into your home and your partner's face lighting up when they see you, they smile, they come over, hug you, you feel it, it's warm, you feel wanted. It's not dramatic, it's just that everyday moment of being truly loved. And if you're working on health, imagine waking up stretching and feeling ease in your body, No pain, no heaviness, just ease of movement. And that moment should be so ordinary that it feels boring. And that's the point. You're not trying to make it big and exciting and unbelievable. You are making it familiar. And stay with that moment for 10 to 15 seconds and loop it, and then let it go. And if you can't visualize images, that's fine. Then just feel the internal sense, the calm, the ease, the lack of tension. And that works exactly the same way. Now, step 5, repeat this loop 2 or 3 times a day, in the morning, midday, and in evening. Same sentence, same 5 minutes sitting with the resistance, same ordinary moment looping it. You're not trying to force belief. You are creating repetition, because repetition is how the brain learns what is normal. And after 3 or 4 days, you'll notice something. You'll notice that the resistance that showed up at the beginning, the tightness, the restlessness, it starts to lessen. The state begins to feel less foreign. That is the nervous system updating. It's prediction of who you are. Step 6, during the day, catch the old pattern and redirect it. And you don't need to do anything special during the rest of your day. But when you catch yourself reacting in the old way, when the familiar anxiety shows up, pause. Here's a concrete example for you. Let's say that you're working on wealth and you haven't got much at the moment and your TV breaks. Immediately your chest tightens. The thought comes, where is this money going to come from for a new TV? That's the old identity, the old prediction. That's where you pause and feel that tightness in your chest. Don't try to make it go away, just notice it. This is the old pattern just showing up. And then gently redirect. Remember, the wealth is coming. For now, no TV just means doing something else. Maybe use your computer to watch something instead. Maybe you spend some quality time with your family doing something different. Or maybe this is actually an opportunity to research a side hustle, to learn a new skill, or to read that book that you've been meaning to read. Remind yourself right now, in this moment, I am safe, I am secure, and I have the opportunity now to manifest a new TV while also doing something practical for my future. That redirect is the work. You're not forcing positivity. You are showing your nervous system we can respond differently. Another example. Let's say you're working on a relationship and you go to a social event alone. Now, the old pattern, it might show up as, I'm always alone. Everyone else has someone. And your chest tightens, your throat tightens. Pause. Notice the feeling. This is the old identity. And then redirect gently. I'm choosing to be here, enjoying the moment. I'm open to connection. The relationship is coming. And right now, I can practice being relaxed in social situations. I can enjoy conversations, meet interesting people, build my social confidence. And you're not pretending everything is fine. You are training your system to respond from the new identity, not the old one. And do this every time you catch the old pattern. Pause, feel it, acknowledge it, and redirect gently. That's how the nervous system learns. And step 7 is important. It's measure progress differently. It's an easy one. Okay? Don't measure progress by whether the thing has shown up yet. Measure progress by how you feel when you think about the desire. After a few days of this practice, ask yourself these questions. Does it still feel urgent? Does it still feel heavy? Does it still create tightness in your chest or wherever? Or does it feel lighter? Is it more neutral, almost obvious? That neutrality is the update. When something feels normal, your brain stops resisting it. And when your brain stops resisting it, your behavior, your choices, your attention all begin to reorganize around it. Now, what if it doesn't feel neutral yet? What after a week it still feels distant or uncomfortable? That's okay. It just means that your nervous system needs more repetition. Just keep going with the same simple practice. Don't add more techniques. Don't try harder. Don't try to force it. Just keep showing your system 2 or 3 times a day. This is safe. This is normal. The update happens through familiarity, not force. And some people feel the shift in 3 days, and some people need 2 weeks, and some people need longer. It depends on how deeply the old identity was embodied. But the shift will happen if you stay consistent. And you'll know it's happened when you think about the desire and it no longer feels like a big thing. It just feels obvious. Like, of course, this is who I am now. And that is when opportunities start appearing. And not because they are new, it's because you are finally noticing them. The filter is open. Manifestation is not about becoming someone new. It's about removing the internal conditions that keep repeating the same versions of you. Do not chase the future. You stop recreating the past. And when the nervous system updates, life flows naturally. Remember what I said at the very beginning. Manifestation isn't about creating a new future. It's about stopping the past from repeating. And now you know exactly how to do that. Your brain has been running the same prediction for years, maybe decades. The same identity, the same filter, the same outcomes. But you just learned how to update it. You learned how the prediction machine works. You've learned how the filtering shapes reality. And now you've learned the 7-step process to reprogram your nervous system. That's not small. That's everything. Because when you change the prediction, when you update the identity, everything changes. Now, if you want to go deeper into the mechanics behind this, I do have more videos breaking down exactly how consciousness shapes reality. So subscribe, keep watching, and keep applying this. Because I'm not here to give you hope. I'm here to show you how reality actually works so you can use it deliberately. My name is Dejorn Goldsmith, and this is Manifestation Mechanics. Your state of being is your creation. Your identity is your destiny. And when you update the prediction, life responds. Not someday, now.